Hi, and welcome to Nollywood Film Club. I'm Mr. C, a Ruroka critic. I hope you're doing well. Wow, yes, this is a short one for you because there is no pushback section. And no, I did not forget. A weird thing happened. We all sort of generally agreed about the state of this movie. And if you've seen it, you probably agree too, even if you're in this movie. I won't waste much of your time. I just hope you enjoy Nollywood Film Club discussing the Kujus again.
Saying I want to do the intro. I don't even know what I want to say, but all right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Nollywood Film Club with the Rooker Critic. I'm Mrs. C, and together with my co-host, Mr. C, and a merry band of Nollywood enthusiasts, hoodlums, and
Miscreants.
miscreants, we host Nollywood film discussions every Sunday at 6 p.m. What? And today we are discussing the Kujus again. All right.
Again. All right. All right. Thanks, Mrs. A. I don't know what inspired you to do the intro today.
I don't know. I thought about it like a few hours ago, and I kind of crafted it in my head, and like I
Is
want
that,
to do the intro.
so that's what you crafted in your head.
Now,
Wow.
they will deport me.
All right. Okay. All right. Thanks. All right. So who came on first? It was Otas, right? All right. So did you say we're discussing the Kujus again,
Yes,
right?
I did.
All right. Okay. Otas, do you want to tell us some of the things you liked about the Kujus? Did you tell us we were going to be discussing things we like, things we don't like, and then we'll do a pushback, and then we'll do a summary at the end? I'm sure you did. All right. Otas, go on. Tell us the things that you did like.
Wonderful.
So I liked the acting in this. And I say this with the asterisk, but I mean, the acting was largely fluid. It's not their fault they were acting the story they were acting, but for larger parts, their chemistry between the characters was nice. I like this a lot actually, especially at the beginning. I think my favorite interaction with them and with all of them is revolves around Tinuke, beautiful child, absolute darling. Um, and I think in the scene in the beginning when she's coming in as her auntie, that was fun for me. I liked her purple and green kitchen as well. I thought the children's party was nice, great use of extras. Uh, oh my god, they put so many beautiful people in this movie, but then they paired Remy and Sophie together. And if you know me, you know that I think Sophie can do no wrong, and Remy is gorgeous. And so that pairing was so fun to watch. Shout out to Remy shirtless and glistening, just as the movie was starting to drag. So I really appreciated that they made that scene go on for so long. It was like 10 minutes of them in the lobby screaming, and I didn't mind because he was just standing there wet and shirtless. Um, I didn't understand why they were fighting the staff instead of paying, but it didn't really matter because I got 10 minutes of shirtless Kule.
I was about to
But
ask you, that's what happened in that lobby scene.
Kule was shirtless and he was standing there and he was wet, so
He had soap on
yeah.
him and then he didn't. And yes.
And
Yeah.
I appreciated the traditional dance at the end as well. I don't. It was so out of place, but whatever. It was nice to watch.
All right. Oh my goodness. All right. You want to tell us some of the things you liked about the Kujus again?
Hi. Good morning or good evening and good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Um, what I liked about the Coaches again, I liked that it was about family, and I do think some of the performances were nice. I think some of the delivery of some of the lines, some of the comedy, some of the lines by itself can be quite nice too. Um, I also did like some of Bisola's dresses. Um, Actually, I did like some of the dresses. There were some things I disliked, but uh, I thought that there was some I like the. I think that at some point it gets some points, not all parts. It gets the representation of like a family, getting like siblings, how they interact, and then especially like a Nigerian, like sometimes a Yoruba family, like that. So I think it adds some of those things that was that I quite enjoyed. Um, I also like the potential of the movie if there was some things that were different. All in all, most of the time it was okay.
All
Oh, I'm
right.
done speaking.
Thanks, Anika. All right. By the way, if you want to share what you liked and but you don't want to speak, just comment on the space or use the hashtag Nollywood Film Club, and we'll read your comment. Alana, please tell us sort of some things you liked about the Kujus Again.
Okay, good evening, guys. What I liked about it was, well, first of all, whoever's idea it was to sprinkle a shirtless Kunle Remy in strategic positions. Thank you very much. You did well. I actually liked what's her name? Bisola's clothes as well. Bisola, I like Bisola because it's Bisola, of course. So anything Bisola, as long as she's there. I liked her acting. I liked how natural she was. I somehow it's weird, but the what's his name? The Chooks guy. I also liked him. And whatever it is, Timini, his little, I'm just a cool guy, and whatever's character. I liked Timini in those roles. So yeah, those are the things I liked.
All right. Thanks. This is a short section. Cool. All right. So it seems like we have both members of the Nollywood Ramblers, both hosts. Itunu, do you want to go first? Tell us some of the things you liked about the Kujus Again.
Hi, finally on on um Nollywood Film Club. Okay, so what I liked, hello everybody. Okay, so what I liked was, yeah, the family thing was nice. The acting wasn't cringe. I mean, like everybody here is kind of established in acting, so the acting wasn't bad. The performances were nice. Um, yeah, I guess that's what I liked about this. Okay.
Wow. Okay. The speed continues. All right. I'm guessing it's Corey on the other end. On the Nollywood Ramblers, please tell us some of the things you liked about the Kujus Again.
Oh, there's not much. Evening, everyone. I mean, like everyone said, I enjoyed seeing Kunle Remy shirtless. Anything with him in it, I will watch. He's just a beautiful man. Big shout out to his wife. He's such a fine man. The acting was good. I mean, I'll watch anything Bisola is in, except for certain things that were just trash, but that's neither here nor there. And I liked the decor. I feel like whoever did the set design and whoever picked this hotel, I would like their phone number because if that's what the hotel actually looks like, I want to visit. But that's it.
All right. Thanks, Corey. Mrs. C, did someone send in?
Yeah.
All right.
Cynthia sent her likes. I don't have the giggles to go with it, but imagine it in strategic locations. But actually, I might throw in some here and there. Anywho, the likes. The 2-year-old was just a child, very well behaved though, but she was the least annoying character in the movie. I was tempted to like Don Jazzy's character, but they ended up making him creepy and spoiled it with the casino palaver. I thought the movie had some pretty faces to look at. The guy that played Chooks is fine, but should be mute. Wow. Lilo, hotel manager, is a pretty babe. Kunle looked good with just a towel. Kunle towel, 3 for 3. Kunle looked good with just a towel. It was worth repeating. Bisola smiled in her room once and it looked cute. I like the title Kujus Again, especially the again, because when I was done, I sighed, then hissed and said Nollywood has done it again. So y'all are getting sneaks into the good section. I rate it.
Mrs. C.
My actual likes. Okay, what I like.
Oh, but sorry. Before you go, let me read Uchenna's like. Uchenna said, "What I liked most about this movie was the end. It made me very happy. A classic. I liked the end. Lamina says, what I liked, Bisola and shirtless Kunle Remy, respectfully. I love how all of you are respectfully eyeing Kunle Remy. All right.
Except me. Mine is very disrespectful.
Of course.
It's fair. Like,
Yeah.
views are for the masses.
Okay.
Anywho, what did I like about this film? I thought the 2-year-old was adorable, super cute. Beautiful faces. Sophie was beautiful. What else did I like about this? I liked oh yes, nobody should fight me for this, please. I'll take my enjoyment where I can. What's his name? The guy that played that guy that has all his queens. The guy that read the poem
Oli.
for her.
Abba.
Oli.
Hmm?
Oli Ekun.
Oli.
Yeah.
Oli Ekun, yeah. I got some good laughs out of Oli. I thought it was fun. I really enjoy how he speaks Yoruba and then the English in there. I think it's very funny. It works for me. And I think that was all I liked about the Kujus Again.
Okay. It's gonna be difficult. Just try and say something else somebody has not said. I have.
Let's discuss Remy some more while he's thinking, guys.
Oh my god! I have. Okay. I have actually as close to nothing as I can really, but like
repeat something.
I the problem. This is not even a good, but the problem with this is that it has a predecessor, right? And I can't give credit to anything that's basically was the predecessor is to thankful. So like the cast, they already existed in part one, like it's them, like, and it's not like they are utilized. But okay, I'm getting to the bad. So I don't have anything. It's not the only thing I can say is that it's not the worst thing I've seen this year. How about that? As for the good, it's not the worst thing I've seen this year. Yeah. It's not the worst thing on Prime. It's not the worst thing I've seen this year. Yeah, and I finished it. I didn't mentally stay with it throughout, but I finished it. Yes, I don't know. No, I've checked out of what's the name of that Yoruba movie.
Orish.
Whatever. Yeah, Orisha. Anyway, all right. Anyway, let's move on to the things that we don't like. Otas, you want to kick us off?
Yeah. So I didn't watch part one. And I was so confused through this movie. I really just kept questioning whether I was missing a lot from part one. I didn't understand why Lily was getting married in their family house, and I, I didn't understand why she planned a whole wedding without her family. It was very confusing for me. I didn't understand how somebody was building a house and paid contractors and doesn't know that it's demolished. Like I just had, I just things just kept happening and confusing me throughout the film. So I wasn't sure if I missed some context from part one. I didn't understand, for instance, right in the beginning scene, why their sister started crying and talking about how she's just a provision seller and that whole emotional moment because they were literally asking her for input and she's like, yeah, this meeting can go on without me. Like, what? Why did the two boys black out? I don't know. It was just a lot of unnecessary conflicts. They were just throwing things at the wall that didn't make sense. Random gambling debt, kidnapping, mob boss, doting on his daughter and enrolling her in a school without the other parent. Like, why were all of these things necessary? The love conflict between Bimbo and the other guy that was just in there sometimes. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know how we can just breeze by contractors demolishing your family house. And that's just the beginning of this movie. Then the girl's parents randomly decide to go on tour the day before their daughter's wedding. Like, it,
Yeah. And then I guess for my last thing, I just want someone to point me to the exact person that wrote that post-credit scene because I don't know why we did that. Like I just want someone who can explain it. The whole thing was just unnecessary. It was really long too. And it took me longer than 2 hours to watch it. It took me like 4 hours to watch it. It was, I don't know. Um, I'm very confused. I don't know if I should watch part one for clarity or not, but
I promise you, watching part one will not clarify anything. Any of these questions you have.
Part one is a much better watch than this.
But it is a better film, yes. Right. Okay.
also were they poor? Yeah, that was a nagging question for me because like were they poor?
I asked this question as well because they were doing this to the Kujus.
Why is Otumba the one giving you 5 million to do anything? Why, like, it just didn't make any sense.
It's all the money on the house
And then they
renovation.
couldn't pay for a hotel. They were standing there screaming at the hotel staff. And I mean, clearly was shirtless, it's fine. But they're standing there screaming at the hotel staff when they've showed them receipt that the brother didn't pay. Like, what was the purpose?
Yeah. Okay. All right. There's some good that some people said. So I'm just going to sneak in some good in the bad parts. Not a good fella said I liked that one scene where Bimbo and Bisola walked into the commotion when they were as Bimbo's spa. Bisola quickly corrects her and says spatula shopping for my kitchen. The only good 10 seconds or so. All right. And my tongue technology says, I really liked this one. It made me giggle and laugh a few times. So, oh, okay. Look, there we go. It has a fan. All right. If you want to also comment on the things you didn't like, feel free. And Oinka, what were some of the things you did not like about this film?
I didn't like that scene. That was a good scene. So the film got boring at the end. I have to say, well, I don't expect Biodun Stephen to be the best director because he's not necessarily that. But you know what? For this show, this is something I forgot to say. The editing got slightly better. It got better. So that's a positive. What I didn't like. I don't like the inconvenient writings. Like, I get that maybe what had happened was like Femi Jacobs had another scheduled shot or something that blocked Femi Jacobs from being at the end. And that's understandable, I guess. But the thing that makes this kind of annoying is that many of that type of writing was going on in the movie. There's no need to bring up Otumba. You could just make a story about Otumba and let him go. Let him go. Let him go. I guess you wanted to bring the other guy, but there's another way to write it in to make Otumba like a better way to write it in. And that was crazy. Okay. It's okay. But then the way that it end, I don't know where the gambling comes from because okay, sure, you said there's a casino and we kind of expect them they do their high shine when they hear casino. But you don't show us them getting drunk using the casino until the end. So I guess it's the arrangement of the story thing that I didn't like. That should have come in first rather than at the end. Don Jazzy is not a good actor. Don Jazzy should stay behind the scenes. If he wants to get into movies, you can get into movies, stay behind the scenes. I shouldn't say no. John Jazzy can be in front of the scenes if he wants to. You do that. The kidnapping, that's just a lot of things. I don't like how they just ridiculous writing, honestly. And I really do think the actors try to make it work. And I expect something better for Biodun students. Like it was terrible. The first one was terrible is too big of a word. The first one was good. This one was a low rent, even though it seems that they had more budget because they had to go to the hotel and promote the hotel. So the hotel gave them a little bit more money and their editing is a little bit better. The writing, yes, it has to make up for like some cast members were not available. Good. But before that, the breaking of the house makes no sense. The house was no longer available. Okay. There's no need for you to bring it up. She could just have a wedding in a different place. Also, this was when I said the potential. The Kujus could have met Sophia Alajika's family. This is a family film. It could be an interaction between two families written right there at a venue where the traditional wedding is about to take place. Also, it's very, very stupid because this is a Nigerian movie. In what Nigerian wedding, traditional wedding especially, do you have 50 guests? And this movie came out in 2003, right? 2023. The pandemic is still there, sure. But the pandemic was not this strong and everybody has already kind of moved on by 2023. 50 guests. Your family is flying from another country into another country, and you're like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. It just screams last minute writing all to me. And maybe it is, but all I just want to say is that the last minute writing shows its seams. When you sew, you don't necessarily want to show your seams, right? You kind of want to hide it. But you show your seams. And the good parts of your show, of your tailoring, becomes overshadowed by the seams because I can see the seams and it's very glaring to me. So I cannot see the other work that you did that is also very nice. I don't want to dismiss the other work that you did that is very nice. Maybe I'm just seeing only other seams and I can't. And it becomes boring at a certain point. That's what I disliked about it. Like the writer did not have charge over this. That's it.
All right. Thanks, Inka. Let's get some of the comments about what some people did not like. Rennie says, I didn't like that a lot of things were left unattended to. The love interest between Bisola and Don Jazzy was totally ruined. The gift Don sent, why so much? All right. Yeah. So again, if you want to say what you don't like, drop in the comments. We'll get read out. All right. Alana, do you want to give us your dislikes?
Yes. First of all, this movie felt like it was like the ghost of Nollywood Part 2's had risen again. And I just had flashbacks of the wedding party, the Part 2, where it just looked like a whole chaotic whatever going on. So everything was upside down and downside up and just all over the place. But more importantly, I would like to also resurrect the theory of Pere in blood vessel, and I would like to introduce a character that nobody even notices here. You guys, Bentuitu was in this movie. Like he was cast as the cousin of Sophia Lakija, and he had 2 scenes. And do you guys know that he was so awfully forgotten that he wasn't even in the cast list? Like I read it twice. I rewinded like 2-3 times to see, okay, maybe they lost his name. Okay, maybe it was some other person that just happened to look like him. I did not see a character named Valentine on the cast list. How do you forget a character like that on your cast list? Who does that? It was so ridiculous. I couldn't even. I didn't even know if I should feel bad for him because it's like you waste your time. How do you even get on a movie and they don't even remember to put your name in the end credits? Like, who does that? So yeah, Bentuitu was in this movie. He stretched his hair for that scene and they couldn't even put his name. It was so terrible. And then secondly, okay, you guys are cousins, and then they show Sophia Lakija's friends at the end, and it's her mother that is white. So why does she have a mixed cousin? What's going on in that family? But let's move on from that. the COVID thing was off. I was wondering, is it that they shot the movie during the COVID period and then they released it later, so it just looked out of place? Because why is everybody talking about the coronavirus and all that? It made no sense. Don Jazzy, very likable guy, lovable teddy bear, romantic interest. No, it was off. It was really off, and it was giving creepy, and he wasn't like trying to approach Bisola, and he basically just used money to blind her and was just being a little Mr. Save a Who or whatever, just showing up to save the day. She got a big room. Nobody bothered to ask, oh, why do you have a big room? What's going on? Like, did Maobe pay extra for your room? Nothing. Everybody just, oh, big room. They continue moving on with their lives. And then eventually she's all smiley and whatever with him after being rude to him for most of the movie. I'm like, oh, she was so snappy with him for most of the movie. And then suddenly you find out that he's the oniduro of your family, more or less, and you start like being sweet to him, and now he's dating you. From where to where? Now you guys come on now. And then the kidnap. So you guys, they just kidnapped you for whatever reason, I don't know. And then he should know. I would think he knows that Bisola and Timini are related, and he still kidnaps Timini and keeps him in his place, and then they sneak out. Everybody, the kidnappers do not collect their phones, so they just left the phones behind for them to pick it up and run out of the room. Like everything just looked so convenient. The husband disappearing in the middle of the wedding and not even showing up for his own brother's wedding at the end. Haba. Wetin you dey do? What's the medical emergency that you just disappear? You couldn't even tell the person that is getting married that, see, I'm going no. Third, the scene, the wedding hall that they allegedly booked and made so much fuss about, and we saw they didn't host the wedding in the hall. The wedding was hosted outside. So what was the whole fuss about? Did you want to show us the scene, or what do they call it? Just wanted to show us that location and just, okay, Oasis Hotel has a place like this, because they didn't use it. So what was the point of that? Like, they just wanted to use Kunle Remi's chest to blind us, and it was successful. I give them kudos for that, but a lot of things were missing. And the casino scenes, none of the casino scenes made sense. When they even woke up at first, I thought, okay, did they spend all the money on drinks? And then bam, oh, it's the casino. Like, from where to where? And Barry Wonder, God, MC Lively, I did not, his character was not it for me. I was irritated half the time, and he was just doing too much. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. This did not cover the movie in glory, and did not cover anybody in the cast in glory. It was the only person that was covered in glory was Kole Remy. God bless him. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I think it was. I think the time you guys even liked Kinley was when he was not covered in anything, right? Anyway, anyway, thanks, Alana. That mention of the hall, I be the rooftop, because they're calling it hall for a long time. So. But yeah, the rooftop place where they didn't. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, there are a lot of questions this movie raises. We'll see how many more come up. All right. Itunu, do you want to tell us some of the things you didn't like about this?
Yes, finally. Okay, so I just had a very big problem generally with the story. It didn't just make sense to me, especially with them. Okay, so my questions are, why are the Kujus so important? Why is everybody trying to be part of their family? Why is everybody striving so hard to be part of the Kujus? Like, Otumba literally broke up with this girl, or she broke up with him, but he still paid for her sister's or her brother's wedding venue. That doesn't make any sense. And why did he do that? Then why would she want to have her traditional wedding at the husband's house? Like, it's just weird to me, because I don't know how that happens. I believe like normal traditional weddings in Nigeria are often had in the woman's house, or maybe because her parents are not in Nigeria, but it just didn't make any sense to me. And them being or them demolishing their house, and they did not even know the house was being demolished, and that it just didn't make any sense. Then Timini and Chooks. How was it that they forgot everything that happened the night before, and then all of a sudden they remembered everything at the end, enough to like remember faces and who kidnapped them, even though they didn't see him actually kidnapping them? Didn't make any sense. Bisola was really irritated by Don Jazzy until she found out that he was paying for everything and buying her stuff. That's when she fell in love with him. But like also, they did not clarify that or how they actually, started their relationship or whatever. Her parents, Sophie's parents, they just decided to go on a tour. They did not have phones. They didn't have any way to contact her. They did not it just a lot of questions really. Like I just did not understand what was going on. Don Jazzy acting. I know how I said in the beginning that what I liked was I did not get any cringe from anybody, but Don Jazzy gave me a lot of cringe acting. I just remembered that. Oh yes, this is not about the movie. This is about Prime generally. Prime movies on Prime, I cannot watch in 1.25 speed, and I really need that to happen because a lot of movies on Prime are just. This movie just felt very, very long. I felt like I watched it for 5 hours. Okay, so yeah, that was basically what I didn't like about the movie. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Tunu. And bless you for bringing out that 1.25, 1.5. I don't mind. 2 times speed, self at this point, me, I would take. But like, say, help us with our time prime, please. All right. So, yeah, more questions arising. Corey, do you want to round us up with the things that you didn't like?
Yes, please. Okay, I'm going to start with technical stuff because they were niggling at my head, and I feel like my non-technical stuff are going to be the same things that everyone else has said. The lighting made me want to cry. I don't understand why some people's faces were lit, other people's faces looked weird. The color grade was just inconsistent throughout the entire film, and it annoyed me endlessly. And there was the weird scene where Bisola's car is behind Don Jazzy's car, and he now decides to fall in love with her. She's yelling at him. The music that I didn't understand what was happening. I don't know if that was supposed to tell us that he's falling in love with her, but the whole thing just I wish they had scrapped it. On to everything else. I feel like they probably wrote this script in 2020, forgot about it, and then decided, oh yeah, we made a sequel for this thing that people allegedly liked. Let's make it 3 years later. And then they just chose to not take anything about COVID out of it, even though they made it in 2023 when COVID was no longer a thing. And they filmed it like that anyway, because 50 people for a generational wedding makes no sense, especially for Yoruba people. In fact, it was pointed out in the film, your extended family alone is the 50 people. That's minus the extension of your extended family. So it's illogical, and they went with it anyway. Fair enough. Then you now decide that her family is coming from outside of Nigeria and they're going to get on a boat, come to Badagry, and then follow some couple they've never met in their life to go on a tour, and you won't see them till the next morning, and the driver will not come back to tell you until late at the whole thing just didn't make any sense, because why will your driver go to the port to go and find somebody, not find them and not call you immediately, but come back and tell you at like 7 o'clock at night that he didn't see them and he's been there since morning and he has not eaten? Like, the script just, it felt like they thought of like a million different plot points, didn't weave them together in any way, shape, or form, and just put it all in the film and figured something would land or something would stick, and nothing stuck. Don Jazzy was there. He, I guess, served, I don't know what function he served, but he served a function, as it were. I don't know who he was supposed to be playing, if he was playing himself or he was playing someone else. It felt like he was playing himself because for time they let him keep his Maven necklace on, but that's neither here nor there. They could have removed his entire character and we would have been fine. Didn't really feel like he did anything. I also do not know why, but then again, I guess because he was in part one, they put him in part two. I don't know why Timmy was there other than to cause maybe commotion that was supposed to make it funny. But if this was supposed to be a comedy, it wasn't funny. And that annoyed me even more because it was too long for it to not be funny. Yeah, that's it.
All right, thanks, Corey. The funny thing is that you mentioned like grading, and I think I was watching. I think it was just between the same scene. the look just changed, and I was like, what is going on?
It did that multiple times in multiple scenes.
Like, what is going on? It's the same scene. Can we just calm down? Anyway. Let's see, do you have Cynthia's?
I do have Cynthia's bads. So Cynthia says, oh, it's long. In general, I didn't think they had a story for part 2. That's why they dragged out the whole movie. It felt very empty, and at the ending of the scenes, it felt like they ran out of budget. Where will I start from? There was a strong disconnect between part 1 and 2. They built some characters up in part 1 to accommodate the happy family reunion. Mousy was the peacemaker. Mountain learned how to spend time with his family. Every single person grew at the ending of part 1. And then in part 2, we are back to scratch. How and why? The movie didn't know what it wanted to be. They introduced pandemic with the sanitizers and wedding planning of 50 people, but no face mask, and was living carelessly. The movie was empty, lacked focus, and tried to force comedy. A scene that came to my mind was when Lily sat on Kunle's, can't remember his character's name, lap for a big announcement. And oh my God, yes, this scene annoyed me. And they started getting things that made no sense. I don't know if they thought we were going to laugh. The gourmet dish scene for comedy or what? The pastor and mommy twins scene for comedy or what? Then we have Lily from wanting to marry in the Kujus house to delegating duties to them for her wedding to her parents' issues. It felt so poorly done. But yeah, we need chaos. So let's just use her to bring the Kujus chaos, even though she's not an orphan. Jesus, orphan treatment. Mm-hmm. So many things going on with the characters, and everyone ended up with an uncompleted story. Martin, daughter-wife issue with the change of school. Martin leaving. Why did he come back? Chooks and Abby oh yeah, I forgot about that. Chooks and Abby relationship. Even Abby and her mother at the beginning, what was happening? MG and his business, then Mousy and the Don guy. Well, I will have to end every other thing I didn't mention was definitely mentioned by other people. I didn't enjoy this movie. Felt empty, disorganized, and unfinished. I was embarrassed on behalf of everyone when I was done watching. It was also a buff fest. Basically, she got tired of writing this license and said, just take the whole film like that. All right. For me, what did I not like about the Kujus Again? It was such an unnecessary film. They, part 1 was just so much better than this, right? I don't understand what the purpose to part 2 was. And again, I'm just going to push on a few things Cynthia said, because when we were watching this and they had that whole scene while she was sitting on his lap and everybody was guessing wildly, and when they said they were engaged, everyone was like, your fake engagement again. It made absolutely no sense. Because these people are at a family event. You all know they've been dating for 2 years. You were the ones that encouraged him to go after her at the end of part 1. What do you mean, fake engagement again? This film is a mess. It's just a mess, and it's bad, and honestly, they shouldn't have made it. I don't know, man. That's it. It was a mess. The story made no sense. They've done this ensemble cast again, where they've put everybody there and they've forgotten to do anything with these characters. If you compare it with part 1, there was clear motivation for, this story moving from point A to B to C, right? Bisola's character wants to do this togetherness, family thing, bring everybody together for Momsy's memorial, and she has to tell a few lies and a few schemes to get everybody together. And, a few people have their own issues here and there, and it's Kunle Remi's character. It can be he's forming a fake persona for his family to be impressed with him, and it comes around to they love him anyway, right? It's the siblings, the 2 older siblings that have beef. They sort it out. Everybody comes together and it's like, all right, we see that family is the important thing, and we're together. We're going to make it work. We come to part 2, and there's just no coherence to the story. They don't know what they want to tell. They've thrown a bunch of plot lines together and they can't make it work. Right? It's like, there was an idea of making the next reunion event as the wedding, right? But we end up following Timini and Chook's characters, who we don't even know what has happened with them. We don't know what happens until the end. But these are the people we're following through this whole adventure, which makes absolutely no sense. The storyline with, I think Otas asked, are they poor? Are they poor? Because it just makes absolutely no sense that you're standing in the reception fighting over this when you could pay it and deal with these people later. Why is this one's ex-boyfriend paying for the wedding? They're not together. We're just talking about this 5 million naira that Otumba gave them. That 5 million naira covered the hotel, covered the, in quote, hall. What are they paying for? What is everybody else paying for? Is Sophie's character an orphan? Clearly not. But she's doing traditional marriage in her husband's side. Someone could call it nitpicky, but it's a Nigerian story. It's set in Nigeria, and you are doing traditional marriage. I'm sorry, it's not done, right? If they had skipped this whole initial thing of, oh, we want to get married in the house, oh, it was demolished, and just gone straight to trying to book a hall, that's fine, right? People get married in halls all the time. Focus on the hall, we leave the rest of it. None of the storylines made sense. Nothing worked. It just felt like a jumbled mess. And I don't know, like Uchenna said, I was glad when it was over.
All right. Let's see what everybody else is saying. Thank you, Remy, because we almost missed this. Bimbo's wigs, they did her bad because after any Dimas one from A Weekend to Forget, we could not let that breed wig. I was like, wait, this thing. I remember at some point Mr. C was trying to defend the wig that it wasn't that bad, that any Dimas one shifted up and they cut to Bimbo's wig and that shifted up. I was like, all right. So, anyway, Pichana says that was the point of the 50 people thing. The fact that it is highly atypical for a Nigerian wedding, that was supposed to be a plot conflict to be overcome, hopefully comedically, but they kind of just abandoned it along with several other plot threads. That's a big thing. It says, yeah, that one braided wig, yep, cracked me up so much. They both, all right, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just forgot to say that whole hand sanitizer thing. Well, he was spraying everybody with hand sanitizer, but he had this big ass birthday party with not a mask in sight.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, one of the things I would have added for my good, but was subsequently ruined was I thought the hand sanitizer joke was good the first time because they didn't draw too much attention for it. Like, I feel like most Nollywood movies, if they wanted to do that hand sanitizer joke with the child, you'd have gotten a close up of the hand sanitizer gun. But they go on to do it 6 more times, and it just got annoying. So ruined a good thing. Anyway, my tongue technically says, "Guys, this movie is not to be taken seriously." I almost agree in the sense that you shouldn't take the film seriously, but it doesn't mean it's not also bad and terrible and awful and isn't worthy of criticism. You just don't need to take it too seriously, as I'm not. So I guess my issue is, you guys are all right in terms of like, there's just so many story issues with this, and my thing is, I'm trying to formulate the theory that makes this make sense. If you've seen the first one, like Mrs. C said with the first one, the thing with this big ensemble cast is like, how do you make it work and make people not fight for, like, do what basically they did in this, where some people are just like trying to fight for spotlight sometimes and overact. And I know some people liked some of the acting. I thought a lot of the acting in this was cringe, because like you can see some people just struggling for the spotlight. But how do you usually make this ensemble cast thing work? And the way you usually do it is that you break it in parts, and you have all of these people have a little bit of their own contained story. And this is what the first one does really well. It does it well enough. Let me not overhype. Like this movie was so bad. I was like, the first one couldn't have been good, right? Like, and I went to watch the first one. I was like, all right, no, I wasn't crazy. Like the first one still has a lot of fat on it. But like, in the first one, like Mrs. C said, when Bisola has to lie to a bunch of these characters to get people here, and even her lie is great characterization of the kind of people that she's communicating with. She knows what the kind of lie that gets Kunle to the village versus the kind of lie that gets Femi Jacobs' characters to the village. They're different lies, but they tell you the kind of things about what these characters are interested in, and they all have their mini fights and issues that they're good that they have, and all of their characters are well realized. They have great family moments. Like I think Incon said that this had family moments. I didn't see anything in this one. I am but it's obviously up have you. But in the first one, there's so many great family moments. There's a point where Timothy is doing his DJ. I can't remember what his name, his new DJ name is, but like it's Femi Jacob, is Bisola, and is the bigger, I can't remember the other sibling, and they're all calling him DJ Mogbe, and he's like, stop it. And it's just the way they're like taking the mick out of him. It reminded me of Family, when one person is, trying to be a little bit, and like your real people are bringing you down. There's so many really good family moments, and it felt like something that had structure. And this just has none of that. This is a Chief Daddy 2. This is, even to be honest, a Chief Daddy 1, to be honest. Like that, it's like there's no structure. There's just, okay, there's a general gist of something here, which is the wedding. And it felt like we would make it up as we go along. Now, again, given how much better the first one is, like gold and carrots, some might say. I was trying to figure out like what is the thing going on here, and maybe COVID had something to do with like a deep spoiling of how this film was made. But I can't believe that the same person that made the first one just straight off this bad in terms of just nothing. There's just nothing to bite or chew on here. It's just one of the other big ensemble, loud, obnoxious Nollywood movies we have, and that's really unfortunate. It's a mess. Like people have mentioned, I forgot about Tweet Tweet. Like if you just think about it, the way Tweet Tweet comes and goes, Femi Jacobs' character leaves about halfway into the movie. Otumba is like not there for most of the movie. Comes up for 5 seconds. Something massively went wrong with this movie. I don't know, like maybe Onyikan's right with like maybe there was a budget issue and it ran out of money, or I don't know, something else. But it's actually it's kind of, it's such a mess of a movie. It feels, I honestly would have just kept this in the hard drive. I personally would have kept this in the hard drive, but some people probably had money, needed to make money, and this is how some people were paid or something. Anyway, but I thought this is quite bad in general. All right. Is there anything anybody potentially wanted to push back on? I don't know if this is that NFC, but we'll offer it. Is there anything anybody disagree with anybody else on?
No, I don't have a disagreement, but I just want to say, I think somebody mentioned not knowing what Abby and her mom were fighting about. I'm not really sure, but at some point, Abby's walking off, muttering, complaining that her mom still wants her to date Otumba. This is later on while she's walking down the hallway, she's muttering about it. So maybe that's what they were fighting about, but it would have been really weird for them to have been fighting about that at the start of the movie when nobody knew that Bisola's character and Otumba had broken up, because it would mean her mom is really a raggedy bitch trying to get her daughter to steal her sister's boyfriend.
Yeah. And this is just an extra thing.
One more, like, I love that. I love that Dawn kidnapping her brother wasn't a red flag for her. Like, she was just like
throwing lines at the wedding, like he did not just kidnap her brother.
I know, like
Yeah.
this is what I mean by what I mean, like, oh, does anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, Yeah, like Biodun Stevens is a better writer than this. This is absolutely terrible. Like you can say Biodun Stevens is not a good director. She's you can say like she does basic shoot and something, and that's not a bad thing. Like that's just what she is. There are directors that are more writers than they are directors. She I've not seen it this wait. No, that's when she was hired to direct that what's it called? The Akana Papa movie. I've never seen her one that she has control over, that she wrote, be this horrible of a writing process. Horrible of a writing process. That's why I'm guessing a lot of things happened. I'm guessing that okay, some actors were not available for some things. But it doesn't excuse other like
I
big,
did have
big
to
horrible
say,
things.
I did have to say she did not write this. This is but it is her long collaborator. What's his name? Mannie or something. I can't remember his name, but I remember he's written a few things for her.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh, I didn't realize that. Because I was just like, this is really, really bad. Really, really bad. It's very, very bad, as in, like, this is what modern Nollywood writers write. They write to create, not necessarily even plot. I say it here over again. You can write anyhow, anyway, anything, and it is justified. You just have to make sure it works. This is like Nollywood writing that happens nowadays where they write for just random stuff and they didn't take seriously what they wrote. It's like they didn't go back and reread what they wrote. Go back and reread. Just proofread. Just reread it again. Give it to another person to read. Just the basics you do when you write an essay, whatever type of essay, argumentative, informative, whatever type of thing, just the basics you do. There's a reason why publishing as editors. Get an editor. It doesn't mean you're incompetent. All writers have other people who would look at their things. That's just the fact of it. Writing is not easy. Get an editor. But now, like Nigerians, just I don't know. It's very modern. It's very modern, horrible writing that just comes out of nowhere. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I think they need to go back to watching old movies or something. I don't know.
Yeah. All
Because
right.
sorry.
Attack, did you want to say something before? I just wanted to even before that just point out that this guy he is part of the one of three writers, but Biodun is also credited as one of the writers for the first movie. It's Biodun, this guy who wrote this one, and Donald Tombio, who I think Donald Tombio did one of the I think he did what you call this movie, this series, this Netflix series with Scar.
Shanty Town.
Shantytown. Yeah, I think he's the one who I think. But anyway, let me not spread
Lies.
Let me not spread the lies. That's what were you gonna say?
Oh no, that was it. That and why was the other sister provisional seller? Those were the only things I guess that were
Part one is a
fun.
provision seller.
Which one? Huh?
The other sister has been a provision
Elder
seller.
sister being a provisional seller.
Okay.
Yeah, she's been one since part one.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, but
I just remember.
why?
I don't know. Her husband died or something.
Yeah,
But
her husband
the
did.
bar for his brother. Why can't they like? Anyways, all right.
I it was so weird. There are two things I remember that I just I do want to end, but there's two things I remember. There's a point where at some point she just provokes because she's like, why am I know how I feel like it's because I'm not I can't remember, because I'm not educated or something. Like whoa. Where did this come from?
Because they were literally asking her opinion. They were like, "What? You're not saying anything. Why aren't you saying anything?" And she's like, "This meeting can happen without me. I don't need to be here. It's because I'm a provision seller." And then they start playing sad music, and I'm like, "Is there a
That was
scene in between that's cut off?"
Yeah, I think that was edited. I think that part was edited out, and what led to that? I remember the way it was edited as well, because like they were having a conversation, and then boom, she just provoked, and I was like, whoa, wait, what just happened? They're just little things there and there that just like not all was well with the making of this. Even I think there's a point where Sophie talks about wanting to get married at the old house. And then they talk about going, and then they're all looking at each other and like, oh, it's under construction. We hear the contractors have broken it down. It's such a weird thing because like that whole part of the story has zero. It has just take it out and just go straight to the location and nothing changes. It was such a unnecessary useless, and like some people that might feel that like that's nitpicking, but as somebody who if you're looking from the point of the writer, when you put that in, what was the point of putting that in? Why did you put that in there?
Yeah.
If it doesn't go anywhere at all. And that would, for me, it just feels like either you just came up with that on the spot because you're trying to cover up for some other mishap or something, or whatever other implication it had later on has been edited out or taken out, or if it had some other implication, it was taken out. But this movie is just a mess. And I don't even think anybody, or the people involved in this, would deny that. That's where I stand on this. Anyway, since there are no pushbacks, do people want to do their summary? All right, Atas, you want to kick us off?
I mean, all I can say is that anarchy looms, man, because this was anarchy. They set up a bunch of conflicts, essentially for Don Jazzy to solve, and so I am curious about why. Um, I do think this movie is more watchable than Chief Daddy 1 and Chief Daddy 2. And for me, it's because I think the acting for the largest part of the cast is fine. Um, I don't know. It just felt like someone said to themselves, like, let's do a crossover between The Wedding Party and like The Hangover, but worse, and with Don Jazzy as the hero. But yeah, I mean, I would not watch it again. I wouldn't recommend it. And let's try to do less of these, please.
Yes, please.
It's funny. Number one, I think if we want to look at this, the acting Otas is talking about, I'm sure it's just a picture of a shirtless Kunle Remy will do as the acting.
Was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
It's
Amazing
also
actor. I can't wait for his Grammy, or is it Oscar? I don't know what actors win, but win it.
the other thing that says is like, I think I said it to Mrs. Sears at different points. I was like, oh, so we're going to do the hangover. Oh, so we're going to do the wedding party. But like none of those things materialize anywhere. It's like they just start and they just drop it. Anyway, but yeah, now I hear you. All right. Okay. Anka, do you want to tell us your summary?
Yes. This movie was one of the. It was it. There are some things it does well, I guess, and there are some things it doesn't do well, and that's typical of all movies, I guess. So movies are for relaxing on a day that you get off of work. They're for entertainment. You know, put it on. If give it 30 minutes. If you don't like it, change it. There's a lot of movies in this world, millions and millions of them. Watch it. That's what I can say.
All right. Thanks, Anka. Alana, do you want to give us your summary?
Yeah, my summary basically is God bless Kunle Remy. God bless everyone who casts Kunle Remy. God bless Bisola. Don Jazzy should stick to his production thing. He should just stay there. The person who omitted Ben's name, they should please flog that person. It's not nice for someone to work for something, or at least make out time for it and not be included in the cast list or anything, no acknowledgements. So yeah, that's it. And please, death to part twos, please. If they can not do a part two, I've not seen a part two that has even matched a part one in any of the recent Nollywood movies. So maybe they should just shelve that idea once and for all. Even Madam Koi Koi part two, it was a 2-part series, and the part two still destroyed whatever progress the part one made. So they should just stop part two. Anyway, we stop at the part one, let's just end there. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I hear you, Alana. Amen. Amen. Itune, do you want to give us your summary?
Yes. I just think Nollywood filmmakers need to just do better in terms of time wasting, in terms of, I just feel like Nollywood filmmakers don't have respect for the viewers when they do things like this, especially since part one wasn't terrible. And, yeah, that's my summary, I guess. I don't have anything else to say. It wasn't a good watch. I did not enjoy it, and I will not be recommending.
All right. Thanks, Itune. Corey, do you want to give us your summary?
Yeah, if you want background noise when you're cooking or cleaning, put it on. Kunle Remi's shirtless, you'll see him, you'll be happy. Other than that, if you know you have things to do in your life, don't watch it. And if Nollywood as a whole could come together and sign an agreement that they will never make a sequel again, I will die a happy person. That's it.
All right. Did Cynthia have a summary?
She didn't have a summary.
Okay. All right.
In summary, this was a hot mess. I'm sorry. I'm not recommending this. Apologies. That's my summary.
Yeah, my summary is I don't know what I don't feel like this would not be something I would call that I think is worthy of critique. I generally believe that it's not worthy of critique. If I were doing this is why I think like we're a film discussion, this thing, right? We come and we discuss film. I would not critique this. This maybe to do a video essay on like how things can go wrong or there is I don't think anybody's vision here was actually I don't know what you would be critiquing in this. So there's nothing there. This is a nothing sandwich for me. And it's bad in many ways. A hot mess, straight garbage, unfortunately. Wow. All right, okay. But like a mess is garbage now. Like I don't even think this is not Biodun's. This is not Biodun's work. I don't even think this is this guy's, like, this is not his vision. This was not what he planned. This movie was nobody's plan. Nobody takes responsibility. Well, yeah. Anyway, but anyway, thanks everybody who came and did this with us. Sorry for watching this. I do feel like I have to apologize for this one. This one was a mess, a real mess. So yeah, Pearl is saying watching part one and enjoying it. I did say it. Part one is a different movie. It has a structure. This does not. This misroad. All right. Anyway, thanks guys. Next week we do have that there we go. Afamifuna next week, so that should be fun. Looking forward to it, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed listening and would like to join live, just follow us on Twitter at IrokoCritic and join us every Sunday 6 p.m. West African time on our spaces.